Magnum Opus. Magnum Opus is defined as a large and important work of art, music, or literature, especially one regarded as the most important work of an artist or a writer. Does that mean that this is the most important coin of all time? Let's find out here on the Culture of Currency. Welcome back, friends, to another episode of the Culture of Currency, the channel dedicated to showing you that anyone can start collecting and enjoying silver coins from around the world by never spending more than $100 a month on silver. Today we tackle a Tokelau token of terrifying triviality. We already have a video over the history and culture of Tokelau, so if you are interested in that information, I encourage you to watch my former videos on Tokelau coins. This means today we get to focus on the first in a new series called the Magnum Opus. As defined as a great or greatest work, we can akin this coin to some subjectivity. For often, one can say that Monet's Lilies, or the Beatles' Yesterday, or even Da Vinci's Mona Lisa would be their magnum opus, but it would easily be argued that all of these are lesser works by differing opinion. This coin, however, focuses on something a little less subjective in nature by defining nature as the creator of the art form on this coin. We are talking about what is often considered the golden ratio, or as some call it, Fibonacci numerical sequence. In an effort to try and explain this function without taking you to nerd school, I will say that this is a mathematical property that sequences in a way that compounds rather than, let's say, just stacks. The sequence is defined by having two preceding numbers added together to create the next in the sequence, rather than the standard counting, which just adds one unit for each step, as you can see in this diagram. 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and 2 plus 3 equals 5, so on. As you can see, if one were to follow the growth of the line, it would curve and make a spiral, which many of you can identify. The same sequence has been identified in nature for thousands of years, making a sacred ratio. Let's take a look at some examples. First, we have the arrangement of what seeds are in the center of a sunflower. This follows the same mathematical sequence. Need more examples? Here's a fern unrolling. The unrolling of the leaf also follows the Fibonacci sequence, which shows you that this curve can also be a straight line once it is unraveled from the outside going in. Our next example is my favorite, which is the shell of a nautilus. This sequence is not just in small creatures. Take a look at this storm. Once again, we are met with the sequence. Still not convinced? How about a spiral galaxy, which also displays Fibonacci? I think you probably get the message. This is why, in my opinion, this magnum opus designation was given to the coin. It highlights one of the great works of creation. In fact, the first Hindu man to be invited to be a member of the Royal Society saw math as a creation. His name was Ramanujan. It is said that he could identify sequences of divine inspiration on particles as small as sand. This coin hails from the Pressburg mint, which actually is not in Tokelau but Slovakia. And having visited their website, I must say that I am very impressed with what they are doing. It is worth checking out. I will try to put a link down below. There are so many fascinating textures and sequences that the eye really cannot help but be humbled. I could probably make 10 videos over these sequences, but I'm sure that I would have 5 subscribers left, so I will spare you. So let's go ahead and see if we can place this coin on our 60-point scale. We need to start, of course, with the front. We have once again a perfect example of how to incorporate Her Majesty. We do not have to lose focus or intent of a coin just because the queen must be present. We are met with a striking offset of the golden ratio going from southeast to northwest. We see differing textures at each reset of the sequence. This side reminds me a little bit of magnetic polarity in its form, and each ring offers a little bit more ornate texture. Each ring, however, does not steal the spotlight from another, as the design with the most real estate also is the calmest, which brings balance and is well thought out. From top to bottom, the theme is used, and they incorporated the queen, which they have to do, so this scores a perfect 10 out of 10. Now we transition to the back. Once again, the eye is gifted with a display of amazing proportions and ratios. We have the theme in many forms. We see concentric sequences off the center spiral. Each new phase is another dimension of texture and focus as the patterns radiate outward. The monetary denomination and wordage are just embellishments of an overall movement that provides a rare ability to be fully covered in material differences but never seeming too busy. I once again think this is a perfect 10. Mintage is an area where many coins that are bound for the elite status fall. Having a great design makes people want to mass produce them so it will sell more, which can hurt the overall mintage score by me. However, this coin does not follow the same trend. We must be specific, however, because there is a bullion and a BU version that I found, and we are talking, of course, about the BU version, which is a higher detail. The overall mintage for this coin is a very low 20,000, which scores a 9 out of 10 and makes this a coin you better grab while you can. Now for cultural significance. This is a bit of a quandary. We have a coin that hails from a Pacific Island nation, which usually is not what one thinks about when they think about mathematical discoveries on nature, but we also have to take into account that these natural phenomena are present in Tokelau as well, and generally accepted as occurring throughout the natural universe in different forms. This being said, I think it still means a 8 is a granted score for significance. Collectability is our next category. We have a low mintage coin with an excellent execution on a theme. Are there stronger themes out there? Sure, but this is still a strong theme. It scores an 8. Our last area to grade is uniqueness. I can't even start to say how unique this coin is. I've never seen anything quite like it other than maybe some of the other coins coming out of the Pressburg mint like the Kronos. All have differing themes and stay within those themes, so they're all very unique. So this is a extremely unique coin and it scores a 10. This brings our total to one of the highest we've ever had on this channel. We have a 55 out of 60, which means we have found another elite coin that should be considered for every collector. Coins like this are so enjoyable because they guide you into thought of concepts that have been entwined with all of creation, mapping a fingerprint of divinity so that we can see beauty beyond imagination in the simplest of natural images. This video has been a delight to make, and I would remind you to like and subscribe so I can pursue the next phase of this channel. If you'd like to send me mail, please email me at cultureofcurrency@gmail.com, and as always, thank you for staying classy and current with the culture of currency.